What's up, YouTube? So, unless you're living under a rock, you know that Davante Adams was traded to the New York Jets. This happened this morning. I woke up to the news, and I just want to say I really like the move for both sides. For the Raiders, I really like it, and for the New York Jets, I obviously like it. Reuniting Aaron Rodgers with Davante Adams is something I'm very excited to see. I think this is a move that had to be done if you're the New York Jets. You're sitting at 2-4, and this is too talented of a roster to be sitting at 2-4. They very well could only have one loss on the season. They've lost some pretty close ones to the Denver Broncos, the Minnesota Vikings, and obviously last night to the Buffalo Bills. And all three of those games I thought were winnable games. So, like I said, the Jets could be sitting at only one loss, and we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation. But probably for the better, they did trade for Davante Adams, so that's obviously a huge move. But I really like what the Jets are doing here, going all in. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers, 40 years old. He probably at maximum only has 2 years left in his career. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires after this season. You never know with Aaron Rodgers. I hope he keeps going, though. One of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. But I thought the Jets' offense looked a lot better last night. Making that coaching change, obviously firing Robert Saleh and making Nathaniel Hackett, removing his duties as the play caller. I thought you had some bright spots last night. 2 wide receivers catching for over 100 yards in Allen Lazard and Garrett Wilson. The last 2 weeks, Garrett Wilson looks amazing. And going to the wide receiver 2 position now with Davante Adams, I think Garrett Wilson instantly becomes the best wide receiver 2 in the entire league. I think he's a top 10 receiver, and to have a top 10 receiver be your wide receiver 2, I think is just ridiculous. Sorry, my light just turned off. But I think the New York Jets have the best wide receiver core. I mean, Mike Williams as your wide receiver 4 is insane. That's insane. Wide receiver core: Davante Adams, Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, and Mike Williams is your wide receiver core. And you drafted a guy like Malachi Corley. He's a sleeper. You guys probably don't know him, but he's your wide receiver 5, and I really like him a lot. I think he has a lot of potential. And then Breece Hall rushing for 100 yards. That's 300 yards of offense from 3 of your key players on your offense, and you're adding Davante Adams to that. I think the Jets are going to be. You don't want to face them. You do not want to face that offense. That offense is even scarier now. Looked very good, but I just want to say the Jets very well could have won last night. Greg Zuerlein ruined some great Jets drives. He missed 2 field goal kicks. Breece Hall had like a 40-yard run where he slipped. His legs completely gave out. I thought he should have scored that touchdown, and that's a drive where the Jets missed a field goal kick. You just cannot have that happen. You should have 7 points. At the very least, you should have 3 points. But to come away with no points on that drive, I think is so bad. And like I said, the Jets really, really could have won this game. And it sucks. Like, I'm not even a Jets fan, but just to see that, the way they're losing these games is just horrible. It's horrible. They need to get it together. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been too good in the clutch. He did obviously throw that interception to Mike Williams, but I thought that was Mike Williams' fault. He didn't track that ball very well, and he needs to be better, but obviously he's the wide receiver 4, so who even knows how included he's going to be in this offense. But I've been seeing a lot of people try to put that on Aaron Rodgers last night, and I just don't agree with that. I think Aaron Rodgers had a pretty solid game. And this loss, I would not put on him. Like I said, the Jets offense was rolling. He had them rolling, and Greg Zuerlein ruined some amazing Jets drives, just missing some easy kicks. And Breece Hall, you don't get a pass either. Should have scored that touchdown. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just look up Breece Hall, 40-yard run last night. I thought he should have scored that. No one's really talking about that right now. But another thing I want to bring up, though, is the Jets are 2-4, but this division is still winnable in my opinion. I think the Buffalo Bills, they just did trade for Amari Cooper, so I don't know. I'm probably going to make a separate video about that, Amari Cooper going to the Buffalo Bills. But this division, like I said, is still winnable. You're only 2 games behind the Buffalo Bills, and the Dolphins and Patriots, I don't even think you really have to worry about those 2 teams. The Patriots have one of the worst rosters in the entire league, and they're rolling with a rookie quarterback in Drake May now, who I think is actually, he balled out last week, and I really like Drake May. But the Miami Dolphins, who even knows if Tua plays again this season or in his career, we never know. But I still think the Bills will win the division, but I definitely think the Jets are going to go on a heater. They're going to start winning. This is too talented of a roster to be 2-4. Like I said, I think they're going to go on a large winning streak, at least 4 games. They're going to run the table like Aaron Rodgers likes to say. But for the Raiders side of things, I think this is a good move for the Raiders. Trading a guy who didn't really want to be a part of your team. You saw Antonio Pierce liking posts where they're going to trade Davante Adams, things like that. Just a horrible situation to be a part of if you're Davante Adams or even the Raiders. I think this is a mutual agreement that they did not want to, be a part of. Raiders didn't want Davante Adams, and Davante Adams didn't want to play for the Raiders. But I think for the Raiders, you go all in on selecting a quarterback in the 2025 NFL Draft, which I think is the right move. They need to find a quarterback. They're running Aiden O'Connell out there, and their offense just looks lost. The Raiders are a team I think desperately needs that franchise quarterback. I think you get a guy like Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, even a Shedeur Sanders. I think you're in a good spot for the future. Raiders obviously have a talented roster. I've been seeing, rumors of Max Crosby potentially going to the Lions. I think Max Crosby is a Raider for life. He just reps that Raider Nation. But if he went to the Lions, Lions, obviously Aiden Hutchinson injury sucks, but that would be one of the best replacements for Aiden Hutchinson. But, like the Raiders, I don't know. Do you go all in on rebuild and trade Max Crosby? Let me know down below in the comments. I wouldn't be surprised if they traded Crosby, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they kept him. I think he's like that culture setter in Las Vegas. I wouldn't like to see him go, but like I said, wouldn't be surprised. But that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in this video. Oh, if you guys want me to make an Amari Cooper traded to the Bills video, I could very well make that. If you just want my quick thoughts on that deal, I think the Bills are a team that desperately needed that wide receiver, and they got it. I was hoping the Bills traded for Davante Adams, but you traded for Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is a stud. I think he's a top 20 receiver. Wide receiver core in Buffalo was, a wide receiver by committee sort of grouping there. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, even a tight end like Dalton Kincaid. Has some very solid weapons, but you needed that true wide receiver one. Obviously, losing Stephon Diggs in the offseason to replace him with Amari Cooper. That's one of the best replacements to replace Stephon Diggs with. And I like it for the Buffalo Bills. But that's going to be all for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.